Hello there, old and new friends. It's your friendly neighborhood Sunshine Squirrel. Welcome back to the channel if you're a returning viewer or subscriber, and welcome if this is your first time to this end of YouTube. I'm a veterinarian that loves teaching and traveling. So as you can see from the title of the video, today we are going to be talking about how you can best prepare yourself for your pet's upcoming visit to the veterinarian. So I'm going to be kind of giving you guys perspective from a vet of things that really help to facilitate your visit and make sure that we're able to collectively as a team address all of your pet's needs. So the first thing we're going to discuss is your pet's medical records. Now, if it's your first time trying out, let's say, a new veterinarian, or you've been taking your current pet to a veterinarian but they referred you out and you're coming back from an appointment with a specialist, make sure to bring all pertinent and current medical records with you to your upcoming veterinary visit. Now, if you have a pet that, let's say, is like 10 years old, your veterinarian doesn't expect you to bring the records from 10 years ago, but it should be within the last 1 to 3 years of records that you're bringing. This helps us to ensure that we're not over vaccinating your pet, so we know which vaccines your pets are actually due for. It also helps us to be able to know past medical conditions, or if your pet ever had, let's say, a reaction to a medication or a vaccine. It just helps us to make sure that we get a full picture of you and your pet. And if you want a gold star, make sure to send your pet's vaccine records over at least a week prior to your upcoming visit. This really helps the doctor to be able to take time, sit down, and review all of your furry friends' medical records prior to your appointment time. If you wait to bring your records into when your pet's appointment actually is, it is going to take some time for the vet to sit down, comb through all that material, figure out their plan for the day before they can even begin your appointment or your visit. So help your veterinarian out and help yourself out so that you can have the full use of your appointment time. Another thing that I would say is write down any questions that you want to make sure to ask your veterinarian, or any concerns that you want to make sure that you go over in detail. A lot of times I'll see clients will come in for visits and they get frustrated or even disappointed with themselves because they can't remember all of the questions that they wanted to ask, or it leads to the client going home and thinking, oh man, I forgot to ask that. And then sometimes it can be a little game of phone tag trying to call back your vet and ask additional questions after the appointment time is ended. So I'd really encourage you to make a bullet point list of everything that you want to make sure that you address. This kind of goes along with any questions you may have, but also let your veterinarian know specific goals that you have for the visit. You know, when we're taking a look at your furry friends, our job is to look at them from nose to tail, or from gill to fin, and to figure out all of what's going on with this pet. And oftentimes when you go in for a visit with your veterinarian, you may find that the questions or even the concerns that you have are not what's necessarily pertinent, or is not necessarily something that the veterinarian is recommending for immediate adjustment. Sometimes it could be related, or other times it may be that you were bringing your furry friend in for a specific concern, but the veterinarian actually finds something else that's even more concerning, or that is also a concern. So make sure to let your veterinarian know specifically which concerns you really want to address. So I'll give you an example. Let's say we have, I don't know, Billy Bob Joe. He is a 5-year-old male neutered toy poodle, and you're bringing in Billy Bob Joe because you're concerned that he's really itchy at home and he's constantly scratching himself. Well, let's say during your his exam, your veterinarian determines that Billy Bob Joe has really bad dental disease. He has a lot of tartar, gingivitis, and he's recommending that you schedule Billy Bob Joe for a dental cleaning with extractions. It's not a bad thing to remind your veterinarian that, hey doc, also could you see if there's any signs or you're seeing anything on your exam that points to a possible cause of the itch. This helps us to know what specific goals you have, so we can make sure that our goals and your goals are the same. All right, something else that's really important is to give the staff a heads up. Let them know if you or your pet require any special accommodations. So for example, if you know that your pet does not like, let's say, men, does not like white coats, doesn't like other pets, that's really important information to let the team know, and it just helps the team so that they can make sure that they're fully prepared for you and your pet. If you have any special accommodations, if you, due to allergies or just personal preference, can't be around certain other animals, can't be around certain smells, let the team know ahead of time, so then that way we can make sure that we're fully set up and ready for your visit. And I would also say make sure to let the team know if there are any specific parts to the exam or even the services that the team would be performing that can be upsetting to your pet. So for example, if you know that your pet does not like their ears touched, or they don't like their feet touched, or they hate let's say the temperature, make sure to let the team know. So then when we need to look at those things, we can save them for last and make sure that we address everything else first. Another thing that I would recommend is making sure to plan and set out specifically the time for your pet's visit. Typical visits to the vet can last anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, and in this kind of newer realm of veterinary medicine, there are still a lot of veterinary hospitals that are doing things curbside or are doing things where clients are not allowed in the building or not allowed in the exam rooms. And so because a lot of the communications are still occurring over the telephone, it does sometimes slow the process down, and the medical team may need a little bit longer in order to address your concerns, examine the pet, do all the recommended treatments. So I would highly recommend, when you're planning on taking your pet to the vet, don't schedule their visit, let's say, an hour before you know you have to go and pick up the kids after school, or before your own doctor's visit. Ideally, you probably should schedule your pet's visit on a day when you're off, or you can do a half day, so that you won't feel rushed and you won't feel pressured that the appointment needs to go faster. Or if the medical team finds things that are more concerning that they want to address, you can make sure that they can be addressed all in one time. That being said, I would also recommend arriving a few minutes early to your appointment. I definitely was raised in the mindset that if you're on time, you're late. So I'm not saying you need to be as early to your appointment time as I probably would be, but let's say if your appointment time is at 1 o'clock, maybe try to get there around 12:45. This just helps the team to get you all checked in. If you have records and you brought them or you forgot to send them ahead of time, it also gives the team time to put in all of your information before your appointment actually begins. Alright guys, well, thank you so much for watching this video. I taped an outro, but the footage got erased. So I hope that you found this really helpful and it helps to prepare you for your pet's upcoming visit to the veterinarian. Let us know in the comments below any tips that you would like to share for best ways to prepare, and click that subscribe button to the right. Make sure to check out my latest video on the left, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.